We stand for our rights, we won't back down. With fire in our hearts, we're taking the town. Against the shadows, we'll fight for our land. Together we rise, united we stand. With the beat of the drums, we'll chant and shout from the sweet or save the hearts of the crowd. No room for whispers, for fear and regret. We'll write our own story, you ain't seen nothing yet. We'll freedom we cherish, we'll make the stands. We're ready up to fight, time for our dance.
In the shadows they stand, with courage so bold, fighting for the land, legends to behold. They whisper of hope, like tales of old. Right-wing heroes rise, their stories unfold. Oh, they carry the flame ever bright, guiding us home through the night.
In the shadows they gather, with their banners raised high, a song of defiance echoes beneath the sky. They rise up in the night with passion burning bright.
In our little town so serene, where the grass is green, the air so clean, we gather round the table every night. Joyful days, oh, once I end, with values passed, with generations past, living life with love that surely lasts. As the city lights look bright, we hold to our roots tight. In our hearts we sing those choirs, guided by the good old days. Sharing moments with friends, always divine. Working hard for what we seek, respecting each word we speak, holding dear to our family ties underneath these nostalgic skies.
In the heart of the jungle there's a whisper. John Birch, a soldier, takes the lead. With the spirit so brave he conquers darkness. On his mission hear the call, take heed. Through the shadows red wild winds blow. He's seeking the truth where few dare to
In the heart they gather strong, pushing back the lefty's throng. With the red banner held high, marching forward through the night. Promises of old will keep as the donkeys start to weep. Stars and stripes forever sway. In the land of the brave we stay. We've got the power now in the heart of every town. We've got the power now. The Reds are going down.
With a flagpole planted firm,
Golden dreams that won't decay,
marching proudly through the day.
In the eagle's shadow by, we find our strength and take our pride. Let the voices echo loud, tearing through the waiting crowd. We've got the power now in the heart of every town. We've got the power now. The Reds are going down. Across the plains and mountains all, hear the victory call. With courage and with might we strive in the light of freedom's guide. We got the power now in the heart of every town. We've got the power now. The Reds are going down.
You grab your guitar, I'll take my stand. We'll shout it out loud, the freedom we plan. You laced up your boots, the night's just begun. Oh, we're singing for liberty, fighting for fun. Ain't no government leash, will let me be free. I'll follow my dreams.
This is what we hold, values that keep us grounded still. Stand up for what is right, don't let the world make your will. Freedom and balance, it's here to stay. So let's embrace this life our way. Tradition calls, if you don't stand firmly, hold it tight. If you let go of the reins, you'll miss your connection. So share a smile today in this community that we build. With love and respect, that's how our hearts can fill. We carry forward, we know our truth. In this great land, it's our time to move. If you want to stand firm, you're laying in new direction. Hold it tight. If you let go of the reins, you'll miss your connection. Let's hold on to our dreams and cherish every moment. With values intact, we trust in them. We find our hope. Tradition calls. If you don't stand firm in your lane, you lose your direction. Hold it tight. If you let go of the reins, you'll miss your connection.
Times are changing, feel the buzzing. Staying true when they're fussing. keep the flag a-flying through stormy nights. With the star-spangled banner, I stand tall with manners. Cross my heart with hope in sight. Here comes freedom in the land of hope and prairie with liberty. Stick to values in the trends. Families gather, let's defend. Hold the line, keep the bond alive. Truth in our vision, in God we make decisions. For our dream, through thrive and strive. Here comes freedom in the land of hope and prairie with liberty. We'll keep fighting for what's right, standing strong in the night. Here comes freedom in the land of hope and bravery with liberty.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Culturama, where on this show we are trying to reclaim the zeitgeist of traditional Americana back into the United States. Thank you, one and all, for joining us today's stream. And we have a lot of international news to cover, and one of which is, of course, South Africa. Now, I've talked about South Africa quite a bit on this show previously, and don't mind me, but we're gonna have to talk a little bit more. And oh boy, there is a lot of rhetoric to cover here today, on and off with mainstream media. And as we'll come to find out in today's show, how absolutely lacking mainstream media is, okay? And I don't just mean lacking of information, I mean lacking in integrity. So we're going to be covering that and much more today on Culturama. Some things are going to be a little bit tragic. Yes, we are going to be talking about the SHOOTING that had just recently occurred against the Israeli. I believe they worked as they were students. I think they were both engaged, the diplomats, and so we'll be talking about that and much more moving forward here today. But I hope that my audio levels are good. It looks like we're having no issues with that, so we're starting strong with this stream, and of course, we're gonna be talking about those two items and a lot more having to do with, yes, of course, the Trump administration. But stick around and you'll find out. So I want to thank everyone that has joined us today on the stream. Of course, I see my usuals, and I already see on the stream here that we have Entropy Nomad has donated or gifted 5 subs to Culturama, so thank you so much. Let's go, Entropy Nomad. You're always coming in strong. I have faith in you. Thank you so much. And someone's cutting the lawn outside, so my apologies if you hear that outside. Okay, it's springtime. It's May. It's gonna happen. My apologies. I want to say hello to all of you guys, so let's go. We have, of course, Entropy Nomad with the generous gifted subs. We have Bucks Nasty. We have Barney Styles. Hello, everyone. And who else? We have Mr. Pig or PYG, as the Liberty Tonight Show refers to him as. And we have the Liberty Tonight Show here as well. Welcome. Let's go. Pork Chop 159 is also in the chat. And he was also gifted a membership by Entropy Nomad. Wonderful, wonderful stuff, okay? So, yes, and for those that are watching that happen to be new here in Culturama, all the goal of this show is, like I open up with every episode, is, of course, to recapture the zeitgeist. And what I mean by that is the spirit of the country, politically, culturally, socially, and even in some cases scientifically, I am required to say that ever since COVID had happened. But regardless, there is a cultural element that plays into all of our interactions and in all of our participations as far as politics is concerned, especially for the civically minded. And a lot of us can't afford not to be these days. And as we'll come to find out in the unfolding news stories, is that in some places, you really don't have a choice but to be politically motivated, because they will come for you. And we are seeing that happen in various policies in the United States. We have seen this happen with various DEI policies that have been pushed in private businesses and organizations. We have seen this within academic institutions, as we're going to talk about that more at length here today as well. But as you guys, for those usual watchers, which I see you guys are here, you are quite aware of the discrimination that a lot of heterosexual, Christian, and white individuals must face in the United States. And it's true, and it's important that we acknowledge that, and that's the goal of this show, is to talk some common sense into the American culture. And one of those is, of course, having to face the deleterious effects of these policies. But they're only deleterious insofar as it is for us materially, but in other countries, that's not the case. And it seems as though, and, I'm only saying this because it's a fact, but mainstream media will tell you otherwise if you look into it, but it is indeed happening. There is genocide happening in South Africa, okay? And I've talked about this already, but I'm going to talk about it again. The white genocide that is occurring, and of course, the refugees that have come into our country from there. I believe it is 49 individuals, and the absolute uproar that had occurred by the Democrats and by the establishment since they had come in. Only 49 people, okay? This is after millions, over the last few years, millions of illegals and other immigrants from, incompatible cultures, I dare say, have been coming into for years. And we were not supposed to question it, and the establishment hasn't batted an eye. You may have said, seen a few figures maybe on Fox News or in internet forums talk about it, but it really wasn't a piece of conversation. It wasn't a foundational piece of political discourse here in America. That wasn't until Donald Trump, okay, in 2016. Immigration was the foundation of his campaign. And ever since then, I really do think, and you guys I'm sure would agree with me, that he has changed the conversation in politics as far as nationhood is concerned. Not just immigration policies or immigration reform, but that led into nationhood. That led into what it means to be an American. And I think this is what the establishment and even the deep state had feared. And, that was all, of course, just conjecture previously to this. And one could argue that that wasn't the case. But ever since seeing the Democrats absolutely lose their minds over the 49 refugees that had come here trying to escape genocide in South Africa, and there has drawn ire from the Democrats. Never before has that solidified my instincts in this, in saying that this really is just because they fear one thing. Well, actually, two things. First of all, they fear the concept of nationhood and nationalism. We've already come to see that being reinvigorated with a new generation of conservatives. But on top of that, they don't want us to question the narrative and the rhetoric that they have been pushing on younger individuals up until now. And that is white identity. They want us to absolutely hate white people at every turn, at every cost. There's no circumstance where white people can be the victim, okay? And that's what I'm going to talk about today, as well as other things, as I pointed out. So, but, it's more of a serious topic. It's a serious topic. But maybe if we get enough donations in, we will bring in the peace to everyone with my dog. And maybe he can lighten the load here. But this is a serious topic, and it's one that we must talk about. I'm not drinking coffee today. I drink way too much coffee today, but I am drinking delicious ice water here in the Culturama mug. If you want yours today, please head over to the ap4libertyshop.com on the Culturama collection. It would really show me your great support here. Hello, Rowhouse. I see Rowhouse in the chat. Bruiser55 as well. Welcome, you guys. Welcome to the stream. It's going to be a fun one. So let me open up with this news story, okay? Cyril Ramaphosa, I think is his name, Ramapalooza, whatever you want to call him, the leader of South Africa has joined President Trump yesterday in the Oval Office to have a discussion primarily about this issue. And so what we're going to watch today is what the mainstream media had said Trump had done to him, and that was to ambush Cyril with facts and logic. And so he dominated Cyril with facts and logic today, and that's what we will precisely talk about here. But before I do that, we have $10 from Entropy Nomad. Thank you so much, Entropy Nomad. You wrote, the media on South Africa seems to like the word ambush, Daniela. And you linked to something, Row House. Let me open that up here. And yes, I was just saying that, actually. Funny that I remember, last night, let me copy and paste this link here, Row House. Row House and others. Last night, yes, Row House. Row House, you are already ahead of me. You know very well the direction and the projection of this stream. You have it up here already. Row House just sent us this link. It says fake news word of the day, quote, ambush. Okay, and there you go, and there you have it. Let's watch this together, and then I'll open up with the clip with Cyril being ambushed by President Donald Trump here, okay? And this is absolutely true. Like I said, I was looking into the story yesterday. I was out of town yesterday, and I was out and about, but I did see this happen on the Twitter feed, and I decided to look into it. Obviously, I figured it'll be a good culture trauma story. I have been covering the South Africa situation, and article after article, I'm telling you guys, every mainstream article said the same thing. It said ambush, 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 discredited information. Trump is pushing out their discredited information. But when you actually sit down and read these articles from top to bottom, nowhere does it actually show you how this information is discredited. And we're going to be covering that here in Cold Trauma today. But let's watch this video that Row House had sent us, and then we'll watch the other video here with President Trump doing his most epic ambush yet. In fact, this could be the most epic ambush in all of all of U.S. history. I'm not going to extend it to human history, but let's watch this.
The dramatic scene in the Oval Office today, the tense confrontation, President Trump ambushing the president of South Africa.
Up next, another Oval Office meltdown. President Trump ambushing the president of South Africa.
President Trump is being accused of conducting something of a diplomatic ambush of South Africa's president in the Oval Office.
To be with you, I'm Katie Tur. President Trump orchestrated another Oval Office ambush today.
Today, Donald Trump meeting with the president of South Africa and attempting to ambush and humiliate that leader.
Zelensky territory, where essentially he was a bit ambushed inside the Oval Office.
Felt like an ambush in there, kind of like the President Zelensky meeting in the Oval Office.
This was an ambush. It was orchestrated.
Cyril Ramaphosa brought his best diplomatic self to this meeting, but nothing could have prepared him for this multimedia ambush.
What started as, to some degree, an ambush.
Well, Katie, I mean, it was an ambush.
Ambush.
Ambushed. Ambush.
An ambush.
Ambushing.
Ambushed inside the Oval Office.
There you have it. It is all the same propaganda, and this shouldn't become news to us. Mainstream media is like this. They all come from the same script, as we've come to find out. But it's one thing when they're just sharing basic talking points or scripts shared between one another. It's another thing when it's about a very serious situation that they're actively trying to cover up, where people's lives are actually being taken from them, or their family members' lives, or entire family units will and do and have been getting slaughtered, or at the very least, the best case scenario for these individuals is that their property will get land possessed, or dispossessed rather. Their land will get dispossessed from them. Their land will be taken away from them without the compensation that they're owed. And so this is happening all across South Africa, and we are led to believe by mainstream media that this is all fake. So Donald Trump, I guess you could say, ambushed Cyril and asked him, what will it take for you to believe that this is actually going on? So let's take a listen to this. This was posted by Patrick Casey, a journalist, quote, "What will it take for you to be convinced that there's no white genocide in South Africa?" Trump: "We have thousands of stories talking about it. The American president is currently debating white genocide in the Oval Office. Incredible news." Let's watch this clip together.
What would it take for you to be convinced that
there's no white genocide in South Africa?
Well, I can answer that for the president. It's, for him, no, seriously.
It's a little quiet, but...
Our president will respond to you. Thank you, Mr. President.
It will take President Trump listening to the voices of South Africans, some of whom are his good friends, like those who are here. When we have talks between us on around a quiet table, it will take President Trump to listen to them. I'm not going to be repeating what I've been saying. I would say if there was Afrikaner farmer genocide, I can bet you these three gentlemen would not be here, including my Minister of Agriculture. He would not be with me. So
I do wonder if it's the same Minister of Agriculture that has been dispossessing the land from these farmers, if he's behind that entire program. But he's basically doing the token card, like, why would I bring, these individuals if there's a genocide, which is absolutely no case against the entire issue.
It will take him, President Trump, listening to their stories, to their perspective. That is the answer to your question.
But, Mr. President, I must say that we have, wait. We have thousands of stories talking about it. Sure. And we have documentaries, we have news stories, and that is Natalie here, somebody here to turn that? I could show you a couple of things, and it has to be responded to.
Yeah, sure.
Let me see the
sure we will,
please, if you would, and turn the lights down.
That's the moment where he realized he done effed up. Look at that face. That's when he realized he effed up. Okay? Turn the lights down. Please turn the lights down. This is what he knew. Okay, let's keep watching.
The lights down and just put this on. It's right behind you. Johan.
He's getting nervous.
With or without you, people are going to occupy land. We require no permission from you, from the president.
Oh, it looks like we have actual officials in the South African government. Don't worry, we'll talk more about this after the commercial break, but it looks like he actually had these clips prepared for Cyril to watch and actually have to, answer to it. It's kind of hard to ignore that there are, actual government officials singing, kill the farmer, kill the boer. Okay, boer means white farmer. In Dutch. And so we have videos of this. We have videos such as these where government officials are saying these things, and somehow they expect us to believe, or they expect the Trump administration to believe that this isn't happening. Absolute wild ego on that guy. Let's keep watching.
From no one. We don't care. We can do whatever you want to do. Who are you to tell us whether we can occupy land or not? We are going to occupy land. South Africa, occupy land. That's who we are.
Occupy land. That's who we are. I know the clip's a little quiet, but okay, so this is where we're at, you guys. So this is the supposed ambush that happened. Just providing the guy, of his own country, what's being said in the country. There are other clips of mass graves that Donald Trump had mentioned. There's white crosses down a road. We're going to be covering that. Mainstream media has come out and said, I have a BBC article that I'm going to be pulling up that says that it's all fake, it's all discredited, but is it really? And how does the article actually explain that it's discredited and fake? You guys won't believe this, okay? I'll be right back. I'm going to be playing a short commercial break, and I'm going to be pulling up those news stories for you. In the meantime, please visit the Culturama shop on the ap4libertyshop.com. Again, that is the letter A, the letter P, Liberty, the number 4, shop.com. And you can get yourself some lovely, lovely items from the Culturama shop. But until then, let me play a quick commercial break. I will be right back. Grab yourself some chips or some popcorn, some snack, lay back, relax. It's almost Friday. And I think you're really going to enjoy what we have coming up next year, okay? And also, I see we had laissez-faire, bruh. 76, thank you for joining us. You asked, did I share the FBI meme yet? No, but I will be sharing it perhaps later on in the stream because I will be doing an FBI check on the stream because there's some questionable stuff going at the FBI. Yeah, I know. Shocking. I'll be sharing your meme then, okay? Laissez-faire, bruh. Okay, I'll be right back, everyone. Stay tuned. We have a lot more to cover here. Oh, where's my... There it is.
Well, here comes Daniela like Marilyn with a twist. She's got a master's degree and a style you can't resist. On Culturama, baby, we're shaking up the scene. So hit that like, make it click, you know what we mean. Like and subscribe, come on, don't delay. With Daniela at the helm, we're leading the way. It's Culturama, taking back tomorrow today.
You have to force behaviors, and at BlackRock, we are forcing behaviors.
Mao ordered his citizens to throw off the 4 olds. Old thinking, old culture, old customs, and old habits. So, your whole life went in the garbage overnight, no biggie. And those who resisted were attacked by an army of purifiers called the Red Guard, who went around the country putting dunce caps on people. Yeah. Who didn't take to being a new kind of mortal being.
If you don't force behaviors, whether it's gender or race or just any way you want to say the composition of your team, you're going to be impacted.
Well, things haven't been so sweet for Ben & Jerry's after the company posted an anti-American tweet, a few of them, on the 4th of July. The ice cream makers declared the United States was founded on stolen indigenous land.
Well, someone should tell Target that because they're now selling swimsuits with tuckums in the women's section of the store. And they even have a line just for kids.
Yeah, we're going to reach out to Ben & Jerry's and ask them how they can live with themselves as they operate a multi-billion-dollar company on stolen land while declaring other people give up their so-called stolen land.
This is the child section. This is literally the kids section. I'm next to a literal onesie that says whatever the hell that means. We have glad you came out, and I'm so happy that you're queer. In the kids section. Are you kidding me? I'm sorry, but pride and toddler don't belong in the same sentence.
Good news! Starbucks will offer its workers reimbursement of travel expenses related to accessing abortion and gender-affirming procedures.
Kyle Rittenhouse was seen wearing a Black Rifle Coffee Company shirt, and they wanted to distance themselves from that individual. Key employees at the company also were donating to Democrats. Hafer doubled down on throwing many in his base under the bus, describing them as racist and a repugnant group of people.
Hey, Liberty lovers, stop scrolling, because if you're tired of the same old news, then I've got just the wake-up call for you. I want to thank you for tuning in to Culturama, and I know that you're enjoying every minute of it. Join us at rumble.com/AP4Liberty. The Wake Up America show is Mondays through Fridays, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. It's a great way to start your day. Coffee's optional, but waking up is mandatory. Remember, at Wake Up America, we'll keep you sharp, we'll keep you laughing, most of all, we'll keep you free. I'll see you in the morning.
are back. Welcome to Culturama, everyone. And I see that we are so close to the Leo goal, everyone. Hold on a second. Where is my Unleash the Beast meter? There we go, you guys. We are very close to unleashing the beast. That is, of course, my very dysgenic canine here. And for those that aren't aware, Leo is severely dysgenic and the sign that God, doesn't love planet Earth as much as we think he does. And so, if God is author of all creation, then my goodness, you have a lot to contend with, everyone. And so what happens is if we have $70 in donations, we release the beast. And that is Leo right here. So we're $35 deep, everyone. At least that's what Entropy Nomad said. So if we get just a few more, we may, in fact, release the beast. And of course, Leo's presence does relieve some tensions here in the stream. But until then, let's continue with the story here that I have set up for us. I pulled up all my links and we're going to jump into it. So here's another example of what Row House you were talking about with the propaganda and the shared narrative recycled over and over and over again by various individuals in the mainstream media. Here's a sampling of how mainstream media outlets have framed Trump's stance on South African farm murders. What do you notice? Same thing we've just watched. But Trump confronts South African President Cyril with the baseless claims of white genocide. Baseless claims, false claims. We have here, again, baseless claims, okay? Trump showed old videos to cross this out of context and South Africa genocide claims. Someone in the chat said that they needed a thesaurus. That is probably accurate. We have $60 to $70. We have Bucks Nasty gifted more subscriptions to Culturama. Thank you so much, you guys. We are so close to the Leo the Beast goal. All we need, says Entropy Nomad, is $10 more. $10 until we unleash the beast. And if you want this pillow, go to the Culturama shop at apforliberty.com. I'm pushing my merch out there too much. We got to stick with the story. $60. We were only $10 out, you guys. Okay, so I pulled up an article just from Reuters, just a generic article so we can read it together, just to give us an outline of what's happening. But I will be diving into a few of these articles to showing you how absolutely baseless their claims are about this genocide. And that is exactly what it is. It is a genocide. It is a serious topic. I try to keep it silly on the chat here, but people's real lives are being uprooted, and completely decimated and ruined. Loved ones are killed and slaughtered, and their land is taken away from them. Their own livelihoods are taken away from them. And this is serious stuff, you guys. And whether it's just a few to hundreds of thousands of people, the fact that it is happening only for simply the case that they happen to be white is enough to be called a genocide, because it is a targeted political killing, okay? That is what genocide means. Let's talk about this. Buffeted by Trump, South Africa's Ramaphosa praised for keeping his cool, okay? It's Ramaphosa who we should be praising here, not Trump for directly talking about this issue. It's Ramaphosa. Okay, here's a summary. Trump confronted, there's a word again, the C word, Ramaphosa in the Oval Office. South African leader calmly challenged false claims. Some question whether visit achieved much. Some question whether it achieved much. I think it achieved a lot, actually. It brought up the conversation. Seasoned interesting wording here, you guys. Very interesting wording. Seasoned professional Ramaphosa led talks that ended apartheid. Okay, Johannesburg. Facing a barrage of debunked claims from the U.S. President Donald Trump that white people were being persecuted in his country, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa remained composed, pushed back politely, and even tried to joke with Trump. Yeah, because there's a lot of pressure building up. When you're in a situation where you feel very pressured and uncomfortable, you can't help but to joke about it. Joke about a very serious topic, Mr. Cyril. Ramaphosa may have drawn his experiences as the African National Congress's lead negotiator in talks that led to the peaceful end of apartheid during 1994 during Wednesday's televised confrontation in the Oval Office. Okay? His conduct was in keeping with the proud diplomatic tradition of President Nelson Mandela. Yes. The Mandelas, very interesting people indeed. Very stable geniuses, the Mandelas. We'll talk about them a little later. Let's just say they're not the most, they're not people you should exactly look up to. I know that we have been taught throughout the generations that the Mandelas are these heroes, but they're really not. And they were behind the torture of quite a few individuals with the incoming Mandela regime. But anyways, his conduct was in keeping with the proud diplomatic tradition of President Nelson Mandela, said Ramaphosa's party, invoking the legacy of the revered liberation struggle leader in the first black president. Repeatedly interrupted by Trump, Ramaphosa calmly challenged claims that minority Afrikaners were the targets of, quote, white genocide. The once fringe theory has been exponentially amplified by Trump and his South African-born ally, Elon Musk. Now, is it true that Elon Musk was perhaps partially or somewhat behind bringing attention to this issue? Yes, of course, Elon Musk is South African. It would make sense. But once again, we have to keep in mind that Elon Musk is bringing attention to various cases like this, where the mainstream media, again, doesn't want to talk about because these people happen to be white. The Rotherham case, you guys. I talked about it on my stream. The Rotherham case where a good number of girls in the UK are targeted by Islamic predators, frankly, and these Islamic immigrants that come into their country set up these neighborhoods and they prey on these girls. And if you guys look into the Rotherham, it's called a scandal, but it's a long-term case. I think it's initially attention was brought up to it since 2012, 2011, maybe 2013, around that time, where young girls as young as 12, 13 years old are directly targeted by these, primarily Pakistani, I believe, older men, and they sexually assaulting them, and in other cases, raping them and marrying them. And the UK government did not want to acknowledge that. In fact, they actively turned a blind eye because the victims were white and the perpetrators were of other ethnic origin. You don't believe me? Look it up. There are actual transcripts of officers saying that. So it took Elon Musk to bring attention to that. And it takes Elon Musk to bring attention to something like this. So for them to assert that it's only because of Elon Musk that this is coming up is not necessarily the case. I think that Elon Musk, just because he's South African, I think Elon Musk is bringing attention to various cases like this where mainstream media and major institutions in the greater West or the greater Occidental West doesn't want us acknowledging that white people can actually be victims too. Okay? There is criminality in our country, sure. People who do get killed, unfortunately, through criminal activity are not only white people. Yeah, no duh. No one's saying that it's only white people getting killed in South Africa. We're saying that there's an active political genocide happening here. It is politically motivated based on the color of their skin. They're killing some of these people. The majority of people getting killed are black people. That's probably because the majority of your country happens to be black, yes. But that's not what we mean when we say there's a genocide happening. Genocide doesn't mean the majority of the people that are getting killed are of this ethnic demographic or a specific demographic. I mean, okay, for those that don't know, what does genocide mean? Let's just ask Google here, okay? Define, just so we can remind the audience. Define genocide, okay? Genocide is a legal term that refers to a series of acts that are intended to destroy racial, ethnic, religious, or national group, either in part or in whole, okay? That's it. So you are targeting, it's mostly a racial, ethnic thing, but it says here religious and national group, okay? But it's only because of this. You're targeting someone and you're killing them. You're trying to limit their population size just based on their ethnic demographic. It's primarily ethnic. Could be religious, but in this case, it's ethnic, like many genocides. Okay, let's read what counts as a genocide, or what actions lead up to this. Number 1, killing members in that group, okay? Number 2, causing serious mental or physical harm to the members of that group. I think that's happening in South Africa. Number 3, deliberately making the group's living conditions so bad that it leads to their physical destruction, okay? preventing births within that group, and forcibly transferring children from that group to another group. Genocide is often a systematic, and I want you guys to really pay attention to this part, systematic and deliberate process. It can involve one group dehumanizing another and is often waged by one group against another, unlike warfare. What does systematic mean? It's the institutional infringement upon these people. It perhaps means that people within an institutional power, such as a government, officials within the government are seeking out ways in order to empower people of one ethnic group to attack people of the other, or in this case, the ethnic minority. That is what a genocide is. So when we say there's genocide, and when Donald Trump says to Mr. Ramapalooza that there is a genocide happening in your country, we don't mean that the majority of the people in your country that are being killed are white. That's not what it means. It means that there is the political act. It's politically motivated to kill people based on their ethnic group. That is what's happening. And that is exactly what's happening with the Boers, or the white Afrikaners. Okay, let's continue. The way he handled Trump's onslaught was mostly drawing praise back home on Thursday, of course. President Ramaphosa did well to maintain a calm demeanor, and he did well to stick to the facts as close as possible. Political analyst Ralph Matenga said Ramaphosa kept sight of the bigger picture and did not take the bait. It's bait. Giving him actual facts of what's happening is bait. They just played a video of officials talking this way. It wasn't bait. It was a video. It was evidence. There was never a sense of arrogance in the sight of Ramaphosa. He managed his emotions in a tactful manner. Okay? So, and it talks about him rising to power, political power. Very cool. So, this is the kind of garbage that you're going to see if you look this information up, okay? They're praising Ramaphosa, and everyone's vilifying Trump in this, while Trump is literally the guy in the situation just trying to ask him, do you not see that there's something wrong happening here? Okay, let's watch this video. You tell me if this man is completely stable or sane or should be adulated. Alex Jones wrote, the ultra anti-white president Ramaphosa calling for land to be taken from white South Africans without compensation. Yesterday, Trump exposed this liar for what they really did in front of the world. Love Alex Jones. Let's watch this video. Again, this is the individual that Reuters and other, large news agencies are promoting, are adulating, are giving all of their praise to. It's a little bit of a quieter clip too, but bear with me.
The question of land, the land of our forefathers and our foremothers must return to our people without any fail and without any payment of compensation. And it must happen now. The question of land, the land of our forefathers and our foremothers must return to our people without any fail and without any payment of compensation.
So if you guys didn't hear what he's saying that the land of their people, he's talking about, ethnically non-white people of South Africa, must be returned. The land of their forefathers must be returned without any compensation handed over to the Boer or the white farmer. Okay? That's the guy that Reuters is praising. That's the guy. Very fair treatment. So this is the humble, seasoned professional that we're supposed to be praising. But for Trump, by the way, he was very soft in his rhetoric, gently bringing up that there's something wrong happening in his own country, in Ramaphosa's country. Somehow that was wrong. That was an ambush, and that was a aggressive confrontation. Okay, let's read this article together. This will be the last of what I'll touch on for this segment, but I was reading this through earlier today, and it really was striking to me how, let's just say, I don't want to use the word misinformation because that word has been completely raped by the left, but let's just say that it's beyond misinformation. It's absolute garbage. And if you don't have any thinking skills for yourself, you may believe the rhetoric being spouted from this article, and many articles such as this, but I want to break it apart little by little with you guys together, because I was interested in the actual images that Trump shared on the TV. Not a lot of places can show the picture of the gravesite that he showed, or what he calls mass graves, or the speeches given. So I wanted to fact check it and say what exactly was shown on that television screen. And so I found this article and I was reading through it. It was supposed to fact check the accuracy of these pictures or these images. And it was interesting to me upon reading this. So I want to cover this with you. Mandela could be a whole article on your Substack, Daniela. Rowhouse, very good point. There's a lot about Mandela that I could write about. This is true. Okay, fact-checking Trump's Oval Office confrontation with Ramaphosa. Okay, there he is, bewildered. Donald Trump confronted President Cyril Ramaphosa during these tense exchanges. We've read all that. The meeting, at first warm and lighthearted, quickly changed tone as Trump asked his staff to play a video mostly showing South African opposition politicians Julius Malema chanting a song calling for violence against white farmers. Remember that, you guys? I talked about it on my stream earlier. Malema, how you pronounce it, did sing that song, "Killed the Boer, killed the farmer," or "shoot the farmer." Government official, by the way. Remember the word systemic. Systemic. The systemic oppression. The video also included footage that Trump showed Cyril, rows of crosses, which he claimed was a burial site for murdered white farmers, and presented Ramaphosa with copies of articles which he said documented widespread brutality against South Africans' white minority. Supporters of the Trump administration have long amplified claims of violence against the white minority, notably Elon Musk and former Fox News host Tucker Carlson, who ran segments on the supposed genocide during the president's first term. Some of these claims are demonstrably false, okay? Are they false? Let's take a look. First and foremost, did rows of crosses mark graves of white farmers? So this was a supposed image, I believe, or at least they're purporting. Trump referred to this clip showing rows of crosses. This is an image that Trump had shown in the video to Ramaphosa. The footage played by Trump in the Oval Office showed rows of white crosses stretching off into the distance along a rural road. Trump claimed that these are burial sites right here, burial sites over 1,000 white farmers. Yeah, obviously this goes on. This is a long stretch, so we don't know exactly if it's 1,000 or not, but it does go on for a while. However, the crosses do not mark graves. The video is from a protest against the murder of a white farming couple, Glenn and Vida Rafferty, is how you pronounce it, who were ambushed and shot dead on their premises in 2020. The clip was shared on YouTube on the 6th of September, the day after the protests. It is not a burial site, it was a memorial, Rob Hostin, one of the organizers of the event, told BBC. He said the crosses were erected as a temporary memorial to the couple. Okay? What do you guys think is wrong with this section of the article? Well, I can tell you what's wrong if you can't piece it together. What's wrong in this article is that they actually reference an actual act of genocide and literally gloss over that and say and try to be actually correct in this statement. This is one of those actually moments where, get this, each one of these crosses is not actually a burial site. It's a memorial for potentially other souls that were lost in the genocide, by the way. And it was spurred on by the killing of Glenn and Vida Rafferty. So it was a murder. I'm gonna highlight it again. A murder of a white farming couple, Glenn and Vida, who were ambushed and shot. We're just supposed to gloss over that and somehow think that, that's just one murder, okay? Even though we have a lot of cases of this is just one of those few cases that were politically motivated to be, they were killed because of the color of their skin. But never mind that these aren't actually burial sites, okay? This is a memorial set up to commemorate these individuals. This is an act of genocide right here. Why are we supposed to not think that the killing of Glenn and Vida is as important? By the way, these aren't the only people that were killed for the color of their skin. Okay, let's continue. Mr. Hostin says that the crosses have since been taken down. BBC Verify has geolocated the footage, and it says that, in fact, these crosses are taken down. Well, I would think so. It's been almost 5 years since then. But they're saying that the crosses are taken down, therefore we shouldn't take Trump's claims seriously. Exactly, Bruiser. It is pedantic. It's not just pedantic because they are. I'm a naturally pedantic person. Listen, I can be very autistic with some things. It's not that. It's that they think that the reader is, I guess, room temperature IQ or is retarded, and they're going to read this article and say, well, yeah, no, that's actually pretty reasonable. The crosses are taken down as a part of a memorial for other killed peoples, but it's taken down. It's not up there anymore, so therefore Trump is wrong. Oh, and by the way, a couple was killed for being white, but that doesn't matter. Okay. Clown moment right there. Okay, next section. Has there been a genocide of white farmers? In the meeting, Trump said, with Cyril, a lot of people are very concerned with regard to South Africa. We have many people that feel they're being persecuted, and they are coming to the U.S., so we take from many locations and we feel there's a persecution of genocide going on. He has previously made claims about white genocide several times before and appeared to be referring to that. At a press briefing earlier this month, he said, it's a genocide that's taking place, a genocide of white farmers in South Africa. The country has one of the highest murder rates in the world. This is BBC fact-checking Trump, by the way. The country has one of the highest murder rates in the world. There were over 26,000 murders last year. Of these, 44 killings of people in the farming community, and of those, 8 were farmers. These figures are not broken down by race in any public stats released that we've been able to locate. Okay, I want you guys to think about this for a second, okay? So, first and foremost, the country has one of the highest murder rates in the world, first of all. In a country that is majority black, non-white. Okay? So already, again, no one's claiming that Trump never claimed that the people that were killed were mostly white. He didn't say that. No one here is saying that. Okay? What he is saying is that there's genocide happening. What is genocide again? We looked at the definition. Genocide is the political targeting of ethnic groups, primarily ethnic and racial groups, and killing them for it. And this is just a Google definition. You can look up the international here. The United States Holocaust Memorial Museum. Let's take a look at this. I'm sure this will also work, right? Okay, the Holocaust Memorial Museum. Okay, you guys, this is the most legit definition we're gonna get here. The most institutionally correct definition. The legal term for genocide refers to certain acts committed with the intent to destroy, in whole or in part, a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group. Same thing, killing members of the group. So, this BBC article is saying that Trump is discredited because only 44 of these killings within the farming community were of these white individuals, of the 26,000. No one is saying that they have to be primarily white. What we are saying is that these people are targeted for the color of their skin. Let's have some deductive reasoning here for a second. Now, 44 of those killings were people within the farming community, okay? Why would that happen? Are farmers known to be exceptionally violent? No. We already know why the farmers are being killed. 8 of those were of farmers. What does that tell you? Maybe that tells you that of these 8 farmers, these are the primary farmers, the ones that actually had that as their profession or registered as such or whatnot. The 44 additionals were in the farming community. This could entail that this could be family members, helpers on the field, or even people that were just within that community in general or in that neighborhood. But I'm willing to venture that of these 44 killings, or of the 44 that were non-farmers, were probably of their family members. Okay? But they want us to gloss over that fact and think that, well, you know, only 8 were farmers, so 8 of those must have just been the only white ones. But by the way, wasn't killed by genocide. The figures last year show that there were 23 white people killed in farm attacks and 9 black people. So, therefore, it's not genocide. So far, the TAU has recorded 3 white people and 4 black people this year so far were killed by South African farmers. Why do you think the 9 black farmers were killed? I'm just going to ask you guys that. Why do you think... Okay, 23 white people were killed in farm attacks. We most likely can deduce why that would be the case. The 9 black people... They're sympathizers. They are known to kill sympathizers. Look at the Mandela regime. They did the same thing. They tortured, they killed black people. You can be sympathizers and you can be killed for your beliefs. Okay? Okay. I'm already hitting the 6 hour, the 1 hour mark, and I'm only here for a short duration of time. I have to end the stream, my time, 7 p.m. So I want to proceed along with the other stories. But you guys, this is, I've never seen a more egregious act of misinformation than now. Okay, and then with this story, and I encourage you to really look through it and think logically about this. And see how these people that write these articles are directly lying to you, and they want you to they want you to be dumbed down enough to think that this is all fake, that whatever Trump is saying is all fake, the genocide is happening. But I hope you guys know better. But there is real misinformation being spouted here, and it has to do with this case. Okay. Now, I do want to talk about the next story here about the shooting. So you guys stay tuned with me. I'm going to go on a quick commercial break and pull up those stories. And if we get $10 more, then we can bring Leo out. But I'll be right back, you guys. Stay tuned.
This is what we hold. Values that keep us grounded still. Stand up for what is right. Don't let the world make your will. Freedom and balance, it's here to stay. So let's embrace.
Watch me on Rumble, on YouTube, on Twitch, and on X this Saturday. And that will start at the same time, 5 p.m. PST, 7 p.m. Central Time.
What we hold, values that keep us grounded still. Stand up for what is right. Don't let the world make your will. Freedom.
grass is green, the air is so clean. We gather round the table every night, joyful days, oh, what saying, with values passed, with generations past, living life with love that surely lasts. As the city lights look bright, we hold to our roots tight, in our hearts the same fire.
This is what we hold, values that keep us grounded still. Stand up for what is right, don't let the world make your will. Freedom and balance, it's here to stay. So let's embrace this life our way. Tradition calls, if you don't stand firmly, hold it tight. If you let go of the reins, you'll miss your connection. So share a smile today in this community that we build. With love and respect, that's how our hearts can fill. We carry forward, we know our truth. In this great land, it's our time to move. If you want to stand firm in your lane, in your direction, hold it tight. If you let go of the reins, you'll miss your connection. Let's hold on to our dreams and cherish every moment. With values exactly us in them, we find our hope. Tradition calls. If you won't stand firm in your lane, you lose your direction. Hold it tight. If you let go of the reins, you'll miss your connection.
Okay, welcome back everyone to Culturama. Let's watch this clip together. Oh, will it play? There we go. So this is the crime scene that we're dealing with, everybody. We're going to be reading this story as it unfolds. But there you have it. Breaking: an Israeli diplomat has just been shot and killed outside the Capital Jewish Museum in D.C. The shooter screamed "Free Palestine" before assassinating the diplomat, per D.C. police. FBI and Pam Bondi are now on the scene. This was last night. Oh, let's stop this. So this is as much as we have information. I mean, as far as I'm aware of it, we'll be covering a little bit more. Yes, my screen's up. Okay, just making sure. And then I saw this. Apparently they found the guy's LinkedIn. So the shooter, Israeli diplomat shooter, has been identified as 30-year-old Elias Rodriguez from Chicago. There has been a few jokes passed around online saying, was this guy a groiper? Okay. Unfortunately, that would be funny, but people have lost their lives. So, let's not make light of the situation too much. But he was seen shouting "Free Palestine." The AF Post reported the same thing, that he said "Free Palestine" while being taken into custody. So this is his page. This is how he looks like. Okay. Oh, God. And this is the video of him being detained.
No. Free Palestine!
There it is.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
So we have been seeing a lot of anti-Israeli rhetoric as of late. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. It's been happening quite a bit online. Whether you are of the far left or of the far right sentiment, it has been happening, but it's difficult to escape that, especially considering that we have big figureheads promoting this idea. What do we mean by that? We'll be covering that for moving forward, but here we have this is the individual, Elias Rodriguez, pretty quickly found, more than most shooters are. Again, I probably shouldn't say that word; it will shadow ban me. But this is the individual that had perpetrated this. Now, a lot of you guys may be aware of that, but were you aware of this? Elias appears to have been a Biden 2020 donor. So he's not a right winger, okay? But of course, people do their deep dives. They look at the person's history. They look at their online history and their activity, and they will come across a few revelations. And this is certainly one of those revelations, and important to be talked about. Here you can find under his LinkedIn his experience. What do we see here? He was an item writer for WikiHow, a senior content associate and training coordinator. Okay, Coupon Cabin, production and logistics coordinator. And here we have itemized receipts, and as it shows here, he seems to have been a Biden 2020 donor. And this person tweeted, "You're based radicals, useful idiots for the Democratic Party, sir." Okay. Now, it's easy to see how we have gotten to this point because, like I said, a certain online figureheads. I don't know if you can call this person here Hassan Piker. For those that don't know, he's a well-known Twitch streamer, pretty big. He used to be the top Twitch streamer. I don't know if I can call him a thought leader, because he's demonstrably lacking in thought, but he is a pretty big leftist streamer. And this is what the ADL CEO had said about this entire thing. The ADL CEO, Jonathan Greenblatt, accused streamer Hassan Piker of provoking the Jewish Capitol Museum shooting by a pro-Palestinian activist and called for him to be deplatformed. Okay, so we had the ADL, Jonathan Greenblatt, asking for Hassan Piker to be deplatformed. And all I got to say with that is this was a long time coming. It should have happened a long time ago. Not because Hassan here is pro-Palestinian, only because he is an annoying himbo. He refers to himself as that, and he really has nothing substantive to say. He truly corrupts the minds of youth. And so he has been, like I said, streaming on Twitch for a long time, making a lot of money, but yet he LARPs his working class. And he lives in a mansion. He doesn't, all because he yaps online over nothing, and giving credence to ideas that really don't matter. Now, for those that aren't aware, Hassan Piker went out of country and came back in, and he was actually detained and questioned. This was about a week ago, 9 days ago, and he was wondering, why could this be? Why would the American government question me like this? Why would they question me like this? I'm just a political streamer. It's like if I flew out into a different country when I came back and they wouldn't let me through because I have my little old Culturama show and all I talk about are nationalist policies. I mean, what's the harm in that? Is there no free speech in the world anymore? Is there no free speech, obviously not in the world, in our country anymore? Well, I'll tell you why this is happening here in a moment, but let's watch this video clip of him explaining what happened to him.
They're asking me about Trump. They're asking me about like Hamas. And he kept saying stuff like, do you like Hamas? Like, do you support Hamas? Do you think Hamas is a resistance group? Do you think Hamas is a terrorist group or a resistance group? Like, he just kept asking over and over again, right? And I kept repeating the same statement over and over again. I kept saying a couple different things. One, in terms of like Israel and all the wars, I was like, I'm on the side of civilians. I want the endless bloodshed to end. I am a pacifist. I want wars to end. I just kept repeating that over and over again. Every single time he asked me a question, I just kept repeating that. And every single time he asked me a question, a leading question about Hamas, I kept saying the United States State Department recognizes Hamas as a terrorist organization. The United States State Department recognizes Hamas as a terrorist organization. That depending on how I answer those questions, like I'm going to jail. Because the first stuff was just illegal for him to ask me those questions and completely idiotic and ridiculous. And I think they did it because they know who the fuck I am and they wanted to put the fear of God into me, not knowing that I'm a stubborn piece of, and, you know, that's not going to work at all. Right. The second half of the conversation was actually like, because he left, went away for like 35 minutes, came back, and then he asked like actionable items. But one thing that I will take note of that I thought was very interesting was the fact that a lot of the Ethan Kleins of the world have like cried about over and over again were unironically brought up in that conversation. And I was shocked. Okay. Not like the bleach sword, obviously, but like the Houthi. Like, did you interview a Houthi? It says here that you interviewed a Houthi. And I was like, or was he actually a Houthi? And I was like, he's not. You can look to all of the reporting that came up afterwards and before I interviewed him that he's not a Houthi, that he is a regular Yemeni citizen. And I said, like, his name is Rashid al-Haddad. He is not even a Shia. And the dude, luckily, again, Iraqi, went, oh, yeah, that's right. That's a Sunni last name. Al-Haddad is a Sunni last name. So he must not have been a Houthi.
Virtually meaningless.
The very fact that that was like a point of contention that could have gotten me arrested is insane. And I genuinely, in that moment, was thinking like, these dumbass slop tubers are actually playing with fire. I'm sitting there.
So for those that don't know, Hassan Piker, like I mentioned, he was explaining he was explaining what happened when he was detained and questioned before entering into the U.S. And streamers like him and streamers on the left are complaining that because of this whole, you know, Israel Hamas situation, we do not have, ever since October 7th, we do not have the ability to have the conversations about the bloodshed that is happening over in the Levant. And what I will say to this is that, first of all, that's not true. We see demonstrations happen. I live in a very leftist part of the country, and I see it too. There are various demonstrations that are happening promoting the ideals of the Palestinian proto-empire. And there are clearly are free to speak their mind. But this is one of those cases where, you know, the Trump administration, people within the Trump administration are saying that these demonstrations, although they do have their First Amendment rights, are not allowed to promote violent ideas. And of these will accumulate into an event such as this, where we have two individuals shot and dead who were engaged to be married, these embassy workers, and simply because they were Jewish. Okay. And so people like this, streamers like this that promulgate these ideas on their streams, on their political shows, feel like they should be free to say these things and not expect to face any repercussions for that. And all this stuff that he's talking about him interviewing a Houthi, which, by the way, is part of a militant Islamic organization, is true. He did interview him. It's not true that he wasn't involved with the Houthis at all. You can go and listen to the interview, and the interview is right here. And I'm almost certain, because I watched this interview before, this is the individual, it was a different title. When I looked it up, he titled it as interviewing the Yemeni Timothy Chalamet, in all caps, because the guy is, I guess, looks like Timothy Chalamet. He retitled it. But he was interviewing known individuals that are part of known ascribed terrorist organizations. So you would think that maybe, just maybe, the U.S. government would be a little bit skeptical of individuals like this who tout this rhetoric constantly on their show that gets disseminated throughout the United States and elsewhere in the Greater West, like in Canada. And he has a very broad, young audience, okay? His general audience is primarily Generation Z. So, yes, he is shaping and molding the minds of future voters. So when you bring on an individual that is part of a known militant Islamic organization or has connection association with them to talk about his experiences with them, which I've listened to this interview before. He talks about his experience in training, but he's going to claim that this individual is not exactly a Houthi. He's not technically a Houthi, but he's interviewing this individual shortly, what was this, a year ago, after the October 7th events. Can someone tell me why, in what world would that make sense, why the U.S. government would not be at least a little suspicious of that? I'm all for freedom of speech. Okay, I'm 100% for the freedom of speech, but sometimes you got to take a step back and use common sense and see and look at what ideologies you're exactly promoting. This is again 30-minute interview. I don't want to like go through all of it with you guys. We only have limited time. There's a lot more stuff I wanted to cover, but this is the interview here.
وايش عم تعملوا معهم وانه
And this guy in the bottom left is a translator. Let's look at the most replayed portion of this interview here.
Are they okay?
بقول لك انه الطواقم اللي بيشتغلوا بدي اسالك انه شو صار للطواقم اللي بيشتغلوا على السفن. بقول لك انه سمع
Are they having a good time? Are they okay?
بقول لك انه الطواقم اللي بيشتغلوا على السفن انه كيف حالهم وايش عم تعملوا معهم وانه هل انه عم بيستمتعوا بوقتهم؟
والله الصدق يعني مستمتعين يعني كلهم يعني وعايشين الوضع الحمد لله يعني جو خرافي واتمنى انتم تزوروا الجو هذا كلكم.
يعني انت شفت الناس اللي بيشتغلوا على السفن وبسالك انه جربوا القات هم جربوا قات؟
ايوه كلهم جربوا القات حتى قبطان السفينه خزن.
He's saying they've all tried qat, including the captain of the ship that he went on. He's saying that the vibes are immaculate.
So the vibes are immaculate on the ship. So this young guy, this Yemeni Timothy Chalamet, he was on a ship. And if you go back, and you guys can look this interview up, you can listen to him. He's on a ship and he's being trained. What exactly for do you think that is? Now, Hassan is, of course, not the smartest individuals, but he would know that if he outright promotes, like, terrorist propaganda, talking about the life on the sea as a Houthi soldier is, promoting that probably wouldn't be the best for you or your brand. So he doesn't outright say it, but you can go on and listen to this interview. It's actually quite interesting. But need I remind you, by the way, the designation for the Ansar Allah, the designation of Ansar Allah, which is the Houthis, as a foreign terrorist organization, January 22nd, 2025, okay? By the authority vested in me as president by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, I hereby ordered as follows. The order sets in motion the process in which Ansar Allah, also known as the Houthis, shall be considered for designation as a foreign terrorist organization, consistent with Section 219 of the INA. Supported by Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, Quds Force, which arms and trains terrorist organizations worldwide, the Houthis have fired at U.S. Navy warships dozens of times. Warships, by the way. Dozens of times since 2023, endangering American men and women in uniform. Since seizing most Yemeni population centers by force of their legitimate Yemeni government in 2014 to 2015, the Houthis have launched numerous attacks on civilian infrastructure, including multiple attacks on civilian airports in Saudi Arabia. I'm almost certain that in this interview, he talks about approaching, I think, a warship.
No way.
He's saying he wants us to visit.
Oh, dude, I would love to one day. I am afraid of America bombs, though. That's what I'm
Why are they afraid of America bombs, do you guys think? Okay, because of warships.
انه بده انه يزور السفن بس بخاف من القصف الامريكي.
لا عادي يجي والله بنخليه يزور السفن كلهن ويعيش حياته يعني كون بيس يتخيل نفسه انه في ون بيس.
He says if you go visit there you'll feel like you're in One Piece and you can visit all the boats.
They're talking about One Piece, I guess, anime. I don't know what this ad is, but we're gonna keep going. Okay, so yeah, we have had streamers on the left outright promote terrorist organizations, you guys. So the fact that this shooting has happened is quite unfortunate. It's not surprising that we are accumulating up to this point where violence. We are going to reach at a point where violence is going to become an everyday act, and we already have. How many shootings have I talked about on this stream since I launched this stream? I mean, God, it's crazy. It's very sad, but this is what the left does, okay? and I've said this before, they are a deconstructivist movement. They are a chaotic movement, and they are only motivated by one thing, and that is the deconstruction of social norms and mores. And this is all the underlying cause of all this. Why, yes, while yes, overseas, a lot of it is like Islamic militantism. A lot of it is, of course, communism. It's a far left communist agenda that has permeated every major institution in the Greater West, primarily in America, where they have seized and occupied all serious forms of the state and of the government, which has become the deep state, and we are being targeted by it, and they are pushing these deconstructivist morals, or lack thereof, and anti-white, in fact, anti-colonial, as they say, principles on us. And for that reason, we are seeing society slowly be degraded. And that's what we're sitting at. And that's what we're contending with every single day. And so when you have someone that comes into office that does have a nationalist agenda that is directly opposed to theirs, because a nationalist agenda is directly opposed to a communist one, they want to attack him. And they want to kill him. And they tried to kill him. They tried to kill him just a few, last summer, was it? In July? But they didn't succeed. So that's where we're sitting at right now. And so when you do have streamers like these idiots that come on and, well, not this. This is a entirely different level of idiot. This is some weird commercial. But when you have individuals like this, fellow streamers such as myself, promoting these ideals and promoting the militant agenda of foreign cultures that are being handled and utilized daily by communist actors and infiltrated by communist actors even, you could argue, utilizing this as pieces of propaganda against their own society to promote these deconstructive or deconstructive values or principles, which is entirely antithetical to holding any principles in the West whatsoever. Okay? JJ, welcome to the stream. So good to see you. You wrote, just came from TP Action Maha event. No kidding. How did that go? Let me know in the chat. Thank you for joining the stream. We, of course, only have 30 minutes left in the stream because the Liberty Tonight show is scheduled right after mine. So you guys will want to stay for that. But please, if you can, like and share the stream. I think we only have a few likes left. So please like it. Please share it. We're $10 away from the Leo goal, but it doesn't look like people want to see Leo. So no more donos coming in this time, but please, if you can, like and share the stream so we can at least get it out there to more eyes. And also, please share it and retweet it on Twitter as well, because we have a good audience on there. Okay, what is genocide? We all know. Breaking, Trump just blocked Harvard's ability to accept international students. You guys, this is big. Let's watch this.
He went to Harvard when Harvard was good. He went to Harvard when Harvard was good. It was a while ago. He went to Harvard when Harvard was good.
He went to Harvard when Harvard was good, says Donald Trump. And we have, hold on a second, $10 from Nelson65. Nelson, perfect timing. You wrote simply this, Leo. Okay, Nelson, you got it. You delivered. We're going to get Leo out. That's so wrong. Hold on. Okay, you guys. The beast has been unleashed. I'm going to see if I can get him on. He's in his cage in his little old man bed. But I will bring him on and we'll talk about these next few stories. And I think you guys are really going to enjoy this. So give me a moment. Let me play your commercial and I'll get him on before the hour is over. Thank you so much for your donation, Nestle65. And I will be getting him on here in a minute.
Well, here comes Danny Yellow like Marilyn with a twist. She's got a master's degree and a style you can't resist. On Culturama, baby, we're shaking up the scene. So hit that like, make it click, you know what we mean. Like and subscribe, come on, don't delay. With Daniela at the helm, we're leading the way. It's Culturama, taking back tomorrow today.
You have to force behaviors, and at BlackRock, we are forcing behaviors.
Mao ordered his citizens to throw off the four olds. Old thinking, old culture, old customs, and old habits. So, your whole life went in the garbage overnight, no biggie. And those who resisted were attacked by an army of purifiers called the Red Guard, who went around the country putting dunce caps on people. Yeah, who didn't take to being a new kind of mortal being.
If you don't force behaviors, whether it's gender or race or just any way you want to say the composition of your team, you're going to be impacted.
Well, things haven't been so sweet for Ben & Jerry's after the company posted an anti-American tweet, a few of them, on the 4th of July. The ice cream makers declared the United States was founded on stolen indigenous land.
Well, someone should tell Target that, because they're now selling swimsuits with tuckums in the women's section of the store. And they even have a line just for kids.
Yeah, we're going to reach out to Ben & Jerry's and ask them how they can live with themselves as they operate a multi-billion-dollar company on stolen land while declaring other people give up their so-called stolen land.
This is the child section. This is literally the kids section. I'm next to a literal onesie that says whatever the hell that means. We have glad you came out, and I'm so happy that you're queer. In the kids section. Are you kidding me? I'm sorry, but pride and toddler don't belong in the same sentence.
Good news! Starbucks will offer its workers reimbursement of travel expenses related to accessing abortion and gender-affirming procedures.
Kyle Rittenhouse was seen wearing a Black Rifle Coffee Company shirt, and they wanted to distance themselves from that individual. Key employees at the company also were donating to Democrats. Hafer doubled down on throwing many in his base under the bus, describing them as racist and a repugnant group of people.
Hey, Liberty lovers, stop scrolling, because if you're tired of the same old news, then I've got just the wake-up call for you. I want to thank you for tuning in to Culturama, and I know that you're enjoying every minute of it. Join us at rumble.com/AP4Liberty. The Wake Up America show is Mondays through Fridays, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. It's a great way to start your day. Coffee's optional, but waking up is mandatory. Remember, at Wake Up America, we'll keep you sharp, we'll keep you laughing, most of all, we'll keep you free. I'll see you in the morning.
You guys got it. You voted for him, and here he is. This is Leo right here. You guys got him in.
Always having a laugh.
It's Leo time.
You're on a spree.
There he is. It is it's a wedding gown, sort of. More like the spring regalia. There he goes, everyone.
You light up my day in your 1950 style. Let's dance and play.
This is Leo time, everyone. Welcome to the show, and those that are new, you finally get to see the dysgenic creature that is my dog. He has 3 generations inbred, losing a few toes and a few teeth, has a very low IQ. It's amazing he's still alive. And he has a heart full of gold. Very complacent, very submissive. But here he is. This is Leo, everyone. And if you want your own Leo pillow, you can get it at the Culturama shop today. There he is. He does not like to look at this image. If he looks straight into these eyes, Leo loses himself, and you might too. So please be cautious. If you buy your pillow, don't look straight into the eyes. Okay, so this is Leo time, everyone. You got him? One more time with the song.
Oh, my little chihuahua, you run so fast. With your goofy little
There he is. And I do love the girls, of course.
When you dance on your paws like you're on
There we go, Leo. We still have a lot to cover, everyone, so stay tuned. We're going to talk about the college camp that is Harvard.
Furry friend, you light up my day. In your 1950 style, let's dance and play.
Yes, my viewers have gone up, Nelson, when they found out Leo is coming on the stream. Okay, so I want to jump through here, and Leo's going to, of course, read the stories with us moving forward with the remainder of the stream. I do want to ask him, Leo. I want to ask him an opinion of him. Leo, Trump just blocked Harvard's ability to accept international students after revoking hundreds of millions in federal funding from the university. Okay, so what are your opinions on this issue? Beautifully said, Leo. And for those that don't understand, or do I have to translate for you? He said that he's all for it. He loves it. Harvard was never supposed to be for international students to begin with, and I feel the exact same way. So let's proceed with the stories here, everyone, because this is important. The academic longhouse is crumbling. The foundations of the academic longhouse are crumbling, and it's all being done by Trump. Let's read this article with Leo, of course. Just a CNBC article. Harvard blocked by Trump administration from enrolling international students. The Trump administration blocked the ability of Harvard University to enroll international students and keep current foreign students enrolled. Department of Homeland Security Kristi Noem accused Harvard of, quote, fostering violence, anti-Semitism, as we've just talked about, and coordinating with the Chinese Communist Party on campus. The administration in April froze $2.2 billion in federal grants to Harvard after the private university rejected demands. It eliminated DEI programs, okay? So the Trump administration, we just read, blocked it. The Department of Homeland Security said it revoked Harvard's Student Exchange Visitor Program certification because the private school's leadership, quote, had created an unsafe campus environment by permitting anti-American, as we have seen, pro-terrorist agitators to harass and physically assault individuals, including many Jewish students, and otherwise obstruct its once venerable learning environment. Now, I'm not necessarily concerned with that, although as we've come to see, we are reaching a cumulatory effect of these demonstrations, where it will result in violence. Leftists are inherently violent at the end of the day. But what I'm primarily concerned about, and what I'm happy to see, is that we are actually having American schools for Americans. Now, exactly how this will look like moving forward, I can only see great things. How are they going to get additional money from large foreign elites from China? I don't know. I guess they're just going to have to tax us more, and that I don't like. Okay? Because Harvard is ridiculously expensive. However, the fact that we have been offshoring our education, essentially, and giving it to these international students, and them also taking jobs away from American nationals for years now, almost a generation at this point, you could argue. The fact that this is being switched around is huge. And yes, the Chinese, other internationals have been a propaganda arm infiltrating one of the largest institutions in the United States, which is a higher academic institution. But the fact of the matter is that they're rescinding parts of that so we can at least retain some national integrity in our country. Let's continue. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem in April threatened to revoke Harvard's SEVP certification if the university did not comply with her demand of information about purported criminality and misconduct of foreign student on campus, the department said. Harvard University brazenly refused to provide the required information requested. Okay? So they were standing up against the administration and ignored a follow-up request from the department's Office of General Counsel, the DHS said. Harvard called Noem's action unlawful. Well, they effed around and they found out. Row House is like, All right, we got Leo. He can row house is satisfied. He's satisfied. We're all satisfied. I can see in the chat. Yes, American schools are for Americans, writes Nelson65. I agree, Nelson. It really should only be for Americans. Does Leo really not like his pillow? Nelson65, did you see the reel? Hold on a second. I got to show you something, Nelson. This is a good... Do I have to go to my other browser? Hold on. Let me go in the other browser and show you the video. Leo, relax. Relax, my boy. You guys are going to love this. Let's see here. You probably don't follow me on Instagram, Nelson, but this is what happened. Oh wait, you can't see the screen, can you? Can you see the screen? That's not the picture I want to show you. Here we go. This is his reaction to the pillow. Leo lost his mind. So yes, Leo saw himself for the first time, and he got, as you can see, really upset in his reaction. Yes. We can test run it right now on stream if you want. Leo, do you recognize that face? He's a little intimidated. He's camera shy. He's not going to act, but he was pretty pissed off. It's when the abyss stares. How does the phrase go? How does the Nietzschean phrase go? When you stare in the abyss stares back at you. Bucks Nasty. My mirror image. Yeah. Looking into Leo's eyes is sort of like looking into the abyss. Many times I've caught myself thinking like, you know, is there a soul in there? I really do believe animals soul just means psyche, so I do believe animals have souls. As far as the afterlife is concerned, I like to believe they do cross over into the afterlife. Maybe that's cope, I don't know, but I have stared deeply into his eyes many times, and it is sort of like an abyss in a way. And it really makes you wonder the level of affection man has for animals, and whether or not the animals truly have the capacity to truly understand where that affection, where that love is coming from. So, I don't know, but especially for Leo, his IQ is so severely low that it doesn't really matter for him. He's just a sweet boy. He just likes to eat, head empty, no thoughts. He just likes to eat. He just likes to eat and sleep and dress up. Okay. This is Kristi Noem's tweet. The administration is holding Harvard accountable for fostering violence and anti-Semitism and coordinating with Chinese Communist Party with the CCP on its campus. It is a privilege, not a right, for universities to enroll foreign students and benefit from their higher tuition payments to help pad their multi-billion-dollar endowments. Truth. Harvard had plenty of opportunity to do the right thing. It refused. They have lost their student and exchange visitor program certification as a result of their failure to adhere to the law. Oh no! Let this serve as a warning to all universities and academic institutions across the country. We got him, you guys. Eat the endowments! Eat the endowments, writes JJ. Absolutely, JJ. Eat the endowments. So, I think this is great news, and I presume you do as well. Now, I have talked about many times on my show about the academic longhouse and the watered down education of DEI and so forth and critical theory that we have had policy-wise and education-wise, curriculum-wise in these higher academic institutions. I think just last week we had another article about Harvard not wanting to hire white males in their administrative roles. And I think it just goes to show, and they may even be releasing this now in response to that, although that's a bit of a conspiracy theory. But all I'm saying is that, like, I'm not saying this is gonna change anything in terms of the academic longhouse. So when I said it was falling apart before, I was wrong. You're still going to have watered down curriculum. You're still going to have the communist agenda being pushed in schools, a postmodern agenda. But at least what we will see is a reoccupation of these higher academic institutions for the American, okay? And hopefully in filling the roles for these institutions, especially with the repealing of certain DI policies, which we know that these institutions don't do. But hopefully, in the next few years, prolonging the nullification and the dissolution of these DEI policies, we could even have more white men, more Americans, heritage Americans, in these roles of decision making in the academic institutions, and maybe there is some hope to reclaim American colleges. There is still some hope to reclaim American colleges, and will it be done in this administration? I don't know. It's only 4 more years, and it really depends on who will carry the mantle after this. But it is at least the right step forward. It is a step forward in the right direction, and I hope that other other colleges within the vicinity will be aware, see this, especially the Ivy League school system will see this and take note, because they are making an example of Harvard. Absolutely. Harvard's an easy one to pick at, right? It's like the ugly big brother. Really easy to pick at. I just hope that other colleges will see that and learn from the mistakes. Yes, Leo, I know. And learn from the hubris of Harvard. Leo hates Harvard. He couldn't get in. He tried. He couldn't get in. So he has sort of a vendetta against Harvard, and I can see why. By the way, has Culturama reached 1 year yet? Asks JJ. Almost. We reached a year well, no, actually, JJ. I think we launched, my contract began a little bit before the launch date, but we officially launched in October. Culturama did. So it's not exactly a year, but my contract will be renewing in a couple months. If all goes well. So I wrote a letter to the editor years ago about protecting Jewish people. Our legislature had a gentleman from Israel speak in our capital, and several of our councilmen were roughed up by Palestine protesters. That's rough, Nelson65. How are they roughed up? I hope it wasn't too bad. But that's completely expected. Okay, I had one more thing I wanted to cover before the last 10 minutes. Let me see if I can find this meme first. Why is X not working? I wanted to talk about the FBI, and I wanted to do an FBI check. But we'll see if I can even open up my messages right now. Okay. Okay, Laissez-faire Bra sent me this. And I don't know if he's still in the stream, but he wanted me to show this to you guys. Because we have a bit of an FBI check. FBI, open up! Leo getting EP. Yeah, he's an EP boy. So am I, JJ. I'm an EP girl. We have a little bit of an FBI check, you guys. First of all, one of the chatters here DMs are down. Not for me, Mr. Pig. One of my chatters, one of the members of the chat, you guys, sent me this meme, and you can always send me memes. This is of course. Can you see that on the screen? Yes. Yeah, I'm an informant for the FBI. I inform them that they are gay. So, which one do I start here? Hold on. Dan Benji was... Okay, so we have a few strange happenings happening in the FBI. Okay, remember how I talked about the Trump assassination attempt? Well, it turns out that Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are coming out and saying that there was no big explosive story behind this entire attempt. Let's watch what they're saying here, okay? Also, Epstein also killed himself, I'm sure. Let's listen.
You know what, Maria?
Actually, let's first read this. Dan Bongino claims there's no big explosive story behind the multiple assassination attempts by President Trump. He says both he and Kash Patel have been thoroughly briefed on every detail and insists that if there were something major being hidden, he'd be the first to alert the American people. According to Bongino, the rumors of deeper conspiracy just don't hold up. Right.
Not kidding. We've been personally briefed extensively on every single detail, nugget, tendril of this case. One is actively in court right now, so out of respect for the case, it's probably more appropriate that I stay quiet on that. However, I'm not going to tell people what they want to hear. I'm going to tell you the truth, and whether you like it or not is up to you. If there was a big explosive there, right? Given my history as a Secret Service agent and my personal friendship as a director does with the president, give me one logical, sensible reason we would not have. If you can think of one, there isn't. In some of these cases, the there you're looking for is not there. And I know people, I get it. I understand. It's not there. If it was there, we would have told you. You know what, Maria? Kash is not kidding. We've been personally briefed extensively on every...
Bucks Nasty is writing, all body language experts say they are lying. I can easily believe that. Dan Bongino, here's another tweet by the Sovereign Bra individual, but they wrote, Dan Bongino's statements on Jeffrey Epstein in 2023 versus 2025. And then he wrote, Dan, blink twice if they've threatened you or your family. So left-hand side, 2023. Right-hand side, 25. Okay? My thoughts say may have seen something worse. Probably, JJ. When you're that deep in government... anyway, I'll get to it. Let's just play this.
Listen, that Jeffrey Epstein story is a big deal. Please do not let that story go. Keep your eye on this. Catherine Rumler, we need to keep the heat on this case, folks. There are a lot of people who are knee-deep in the Washington swamp who are not telling you the truth about serious allegations out there that Epstein may have had video and audio of people out there doing things they shouldn't have been doing. And you should be asking yourself the question, how is it that all these people, the CIA director, the Obama fixer, Bill Clinton, all intersected paths with Jeffrey Epstein? Jeffrey Epstein isn't with us anymore, and nobody seems to want to talk about it. Outside of a few entrepreneurial media outlets saying, hey, this is a big deal.
He killed himself. You want me to get... I've seen
way. No way he killed himself.
Listen,
no way.
That Jeffrey Epstein story is a big deal.
Look how stiff. Also,
please
the difference.
Do not let that...
Notice how his body's moving along with his head, and now they have videos of Leo. No, and Nelson 65. People have had videos of Leo for a long time. But notice how natural his body movements are. He obviously is a very stern individual and very strict, so he is a bit stiff, but you can see how he's naturally moving a little bit. I'm doing a little bit of a Daniela body analysis myself.
Story is a big deal. Please do not let that story go.
His chest is moving along with the rest of his head movements and whatnot. So, but when he's right here, he's very stiff.
Killed himself. You want me to get... I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
And the amount of times he's blinking, I also understand that if you blink a lot, you also... there's suspicion that when you blink a lot, you perhaps are lying. You're trying to hide behind the facade. And, I mean, look how desperate he looks, too. And he's sweating. He's almost like he's lurching forward and he's begging everyone to believe him.
You want me to get... I've seen the whole file. he killed himself.
Listen.
Yeah, there's no way that Epstein killed himself. Dan Bogino hasn't. AI Bogino hasn't been perfected. This is right. It's Fiery Waco. Welcome to the chat, Fiery Waco. I didn't see you earlier. Yeah, I don't know what's up. Clearly, being involved with the FBI, being involved, and this is what happens when you're involved in politics and in the deep state this far. I mean, we talk about the deep state and dismantling this deep state, but I don't think we truly understand how difficult of a task that really is, because he was right earlier. Well, not right about the tendrils bit, but there are tendrils in every aspect of the United States government system, and there are tendrils of these powers emanating from the center, from DC, to everywhere else. And for us to suspect that undoing the stronghold of the deep state in just 1 or 2 terms is impossible. Okay? And unfortunately, people that may even come with good intentions, they get reinvented in that process, and they may see things that they didn't think they would ordinarily see, or witness things they don't want to witness, and it does bear greatly on your conscience. And I think that at some point we have to recognize that even when people are coming out, people like Cash and Dan, who are coming out and saying these things that you and I wouldn't agree with, but that's only because we don't have to deal with the burdens of what was to come if they are whistleblowers. You guys see what happened with Assange. You guys seen what happened with the NSA whistleblower. I forgot his name right now. The NSA guy. I'm sure the chat can help me out. Whistleblower. Come on, you guys. What's Edward Snowden? There you go. We've seen what happened to Edward Snowden. We've seen what happened to people that are true whistleblowers, and it's not a pretty picture. And so we want to, these people at the end of the day want to retain their livelihoods, be with their families. And like even in private organizations, whistleblowing is taken very seriously. Livelihoods don't just get taken, lives do too. So we should be very much aware that maybe they're trying to do good work, but we need to pray for them. If you guys are religious, pray for them. Pray for your leaders and your officials, because it's a scary world out there. The deep state is a scary, scary place, okay? That's all I'm going to say about that, because I don't want them coming after me either. They've come after Hassan. I hope they don't come after me. Okay, you guys. This has been a great stream. Thank you everyone that has showed up, even the late ones. Fiery Waco, I understand, life happens. I'm gonna be gaming. I will be gaming this Saturday. I know I couldn't do it last Saturday. I got busy. Things came up last minute, but I am planning to do it this Saturday. It's just gonna be me at home. I'm gonna be all alone all weekend, okay? Raw and uncut Daniela Pensac. So please, 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 if you're into gaming, I don't know what game I'll be playing, but I'll be playing a game. We have $10 from Row House, you guys. $10 from Row House. Row House, you're amazing. I have to read this chat before I go on. I'll read it in a minute here. Bucks Nasty. Leo's shedding like crazy. Bucks Nasty asks, much love, what game? I don't know yet. I'm still debating it. I have an Xbox finally. I will announce it perhaps tomorrow. What game? So just stay tuned to my Twitter, and or Instagram. But I'll be playing a game, so show up for that, you guys. And thank you guys for showing up for the streams thus far. I really appreciate it, and thank you for showing up for this stream. Row House, let me read your chat here. You guys are amazing. Okay, Row House. This clip I saw Daniela and figured I could get yours and Leo's view of it. Okay, Row House. Leo would love to give his opinion, and so would I. Let's see what we got here. Oh, the trans park activist. Yeah, I tweeted about this. For those that didn't see this, avert your eyes if you have a weak stomach. Radical trans activists are flying a giant transgender flag at Yosemite National Park to promote the idea that trans is natural and to protest Trump. They're defacing government property. Let's watch this.
Some carry hate. We carry the
Oh my
largest
God.
trans pride flag.
I'm already flushed. I have a light head, Row House. I am getting nauseous.
To ever be flown in a national park. and unfurled it on the side of El Cap to prove a point, that trans is natural. The Trump administration and transphobes would love to have you believe that being trans is unnatural, but species that can transition sexes can be found on every continent and in every ocean on planet Earth. So call it a protest, call it a celebration. We are bringing elevation to liberation. They try to erase us from government websites and education systems and libraries. So we raise this flag higher than ever before, so every trans person knows that they have people that love them in their corner. The people united will never be defeated. Some carry hate. We carry the largest trans pride flag to ever be flown in a...
It's disgusting. Yeah, if a transphobe means I like nature the way it is and I'm a transphobe, yes, certain creatures can change their sex, I suppose. Humans are not one of those creatures. I cannot believe he even brought that up. I think it's a he. I can't believe they brought that up. Humans can't change their gender like clownfish or whatever they were purporting there. We are humans, and humans require a lot of drugs and chemicals to do that. So it is not natural. Just own it. It's not natural. That's fine. A lot of things in this world that we benefit from are not natural, okay? Flying is not natural. Certain contraceptives are not natural. Certain surgeries, necessary surgeries, are not natural. It's fine to say that it's not natural. That's not the question here. The question, but they're trying to purport that this is a natural activity. It is inherently not natural. So this is a very poor psyop, I will say. But on top of that, even though it's not natural, if things are not natural, I don't think they're necessarily bad because they're not natural. But these are one of those things that are both unnatural and bad. That's why I'm going to leave it there, folks, okay? Sexual degeneracy is rampant in these communities, and we need to be saying that because that's what it is. Autogynephilia, it's not this medical disorder. Are there rare cases of it? I guess. I don't know. I'm not a medical expert, but the grand majority, the 99.9% of these people are predators. That's why I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for sharing that, Row House. I completely forgot about it. I tweeted it already like a day ago, but thank you for reminding me. Okay, you guys, per contract, I have to end the stream here because we have the Liberty Tonight show. So I'll be dropping their link in the chat, and I'll have to sign off and eat some pizza, everybody. Thank you, Row House, for that last $10 donation. I really appreciate it. And Leo appreciates it too. Oh, and also Leo's opinion. Leo, what is your opinion on this? Leo says that he wears the dress, he walks the walk, he talks the talk. He has been questioned before. Okay, some people call him Lolita, some people call him Leo, but Leo will say that the LGBTQIA+ movement is filled with sexual degenerates, and that is not okay. That is not okay. Sexual degeneracy is not allowed in Culturama, and it is certainly not allowed in the greater American public. All right, let me go pull up the Liberty Tonight show, drop the link in the thing, and then eat my pizza because I'm starving. And I'll do my outro. Why does it go to Rumble Studio? I'll do my outro for you guys. There we go. The Liberty Tonight show. People are disappointed in the chat that Leo has an alt name. Guys, I have so much lore on my dog. If you want the lore, you should go follow his account on Instagram. There you go. There's a link, everyone. I gotta go. Let me do my outro here quickly. Do you want to do the outro?
In the heart they gather strong.
Thank you, everyone, for taking part in the Zeitgeist today. I will be streaming again on Saturday for Saturday Night Gaming. I'd like to see you there, guys. But in the meantime, have a wonderful evening. God bless you and good night. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week and coming weekend. God bless. And take it easy, everyone. Leo and I will see you next time. I'll see you next stream, everyone. Thank you so much.
We've got the power now in the heart of every town.
We've got the power now. The Reds are going down. With a flagpole planted firm,
golden dreams that won't decay,
marching proudly through the day. In the eagle's shadow by, we find our strength and take our pride. Let the voices echo loud, tearing through the waiting crowd. We've got the power now, in the heart of every town. We've got the power now, the Reds are going down. Across the plains and mountains tall, hear the victory call. With courage and with might we strive in the light of freedom's guide. We got the power now, in the heart of every town. We've got the power now, the Reds